Okay, John, so the first thing you're going to want to do is take all your parts, lay them out the best you can. A lot of times what we do when we're on site, we lay them up against a tree, up against a building, and or down on the ground. Now, being again that your coop's going to be a little unique, there could be a couple ways to go about the first steps. What we're going to do is try to assemble it where we'll start with them standing, but you got some walls that are split in half that you could, in theory, lay them down flat and assemble them to make it a little bit easier. So we're going to try one way, and I guess we've never actually assembled this style of coop yet, so this is going to be new for us. So we're going to try it one way, and I think once you see it, you'll definitely get an idea of what would work best for you. So anyway, so surrounded around here are all your parts, and we're going to start with a couple walls, and I'm going to number them, just try to match up those numbers, and we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with half of your back hen house wall, and so kind of slide that over into position. And then what I would do is have someone hang on to that, and then take your side hen house wall, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to start from this corner, and because this has already been assembled once, it's very, very important to start your screws and then use the existing holes. What I mean by that is let the screw poke out maybe a quarter inch, half inch, and then you're going to see all the holes that we've already used for assembly, and make sure do the best you can to reuse them. Once you get the hole lined up, kind of hold it in place and then let the screw do the rest of the work for you. And then at this step is when it's really useful to have a person in the back checking your outside corner, flushing it up. And all we're going to do is go through all these lateral holes, screwing them in, and try to make sure you flush up on the outside. And hopefully you'll notice as the screw goes in, when it finds that hole, it may move a little. That's okay, let it move. Or if you're already flushing up pretty good to the outside, the wall shouldn't move at all. The screw will go right to that hole. And then again, just screw in all these lateral holes. And then when you get towards the bottom, anywhere you see the darker green wood, that's your pressure treated. That's when you're going to want to switch over to your blue coat screws. What the blue coating does, it protects it from the copper that's in the pressure treated wood so it doesn't corrode the metal. But anyways, you're going to have two holes down here, and use your blue coats down there in those two lateral holes. Alright, after you get this corner screwed together, now you can grab the other half of that back hen house wall. And this is one of those steps where you can either try to do it standing, or if you wanted to, and you're having trouble at this point, maybe laying this down flat, assembling it as one wall, and then bringing it back to this corner. So we're going to go ahead and continue to try it this way. This is one spot. You grab your face clamp up here at the top. And what's really, really important is just making sure you line everything up as much as possible. Let those screws find the existing holes. Work your way up. You should be able to let the screws do most of the work for you. You got to go both ways down here. Basically, all you're doing is just taking this vertical piece and making it into one solid piece, like that. And then come up to the top here. And one little trick is if you're not perfectly flush already, what I just did is all I did is I rolled that a little bit, that allowed it to flush up. Once you get it flush, go ahead and drive these screws in. Be extra careful with those two screws because you are going in the long range, not going cross range, so you can have a higher probability of rounding out or stripping out the hole. That's just there to keep it in line. So that'll be bringing together this back wall. And once that's in, we go ahead and grab your opposite corner. Okay, so after you get this back wall together, you go ahead and grab the other side of your hen house wall here. Same thing as the other side. Start at the top. Let the screw come through. Find the existing hole. Let the screws do the rest of the work for you. And just work your way on down. Remember, don't forget the blue coat screws when you get to the pressure treated. All right, once you got these three walls up, we can start working this way with your run. What I'm going to do is label the wall panels by letter so that you get the exact hole alignment. So in this case, we're going to start with A. So all you're going to do is it's labeled A up here and A up here. And you're going to have 3 lateral screws on this board going that way. And then 2 lateral screws right here going that way. So we're just going to bring them together. Same thing as before, start the screw, get it to come out, line up the existing hole, and all you're going to do is just work your way on down, and just take your time with it, and make sure it always helps to have that person on the outside. Screws down here, again, switch over to your blue coat, and then switch over to this side and do these lateral screws going into this piece. Alright, after you get this wall screwed in, labeled A to A, next just find the one that's right here is going to be labeled B to B. And you're going to do the same exact thing, start at the top, work your way down, find the existing holes, screw it together. So on this side, same thing as you just did for A and B, here's going to be labeled C. Screw this together and then work your way on down to the next wall, and that'll be labeled D. Alright, in this step, grab both your front hen house wall panels. Here we're looking at the inside of it. Line it up, and just like your run panels, you got several lateral pocket holes. What I like to do is just start at the top and make sure your peaks are perfect. If they are, the screws will find the existing holes. And then just work your way on down. And then again, just keep going on both sides. And you got screws all the way down to the bottom here. Alright, now once your front hen house wall is screwed in, I'm going to show you up close what we're going to do, and then we're going to step back and try to do it. So it's pretty simple. You got a notch here and a notch here, okay? And all we got to do is drop that notch right onto here, and then the same thing right here, okay? It is heavy, so it definitely helps to have 2, maybe 3 people. And yeah, today we only have Nan and I, so this ought to be interesting. So what I'm going to do is try to pick it up from the middle and drop it down on. The normal, easiest way is to actually have one person on each soffit on the outside and pick it up, walk it in, and drop it down. So it's not too bad, just based as long as you have the idea of how it sits down in there, you should be able to figure it out, but we're going to kind of do it our way with 2 people here. That's a good idea. Up on there. Nail her. Stay over there. Oh, that was easy, actually.
Really? Easiest one yet.
So not sure. Break, no, you're going out too far. Bring your wall in. Bring your wall in. just lift up on your end. You can just lift, no, you'll down there, lift up, you come down together. Lord. Okay, please stop. Just let me go on the outside. For some reason that's too tight. Might be the side. That's all it was. Okay. Well, that went actually a lot easier than expected. And what was giving us trouble was basically it's just such a precise fit that if it could go down together evenly on both sides, it'll go a lot easier. But what I had to do, and I'll give you a close-up look how it should look, is I just really had to push this wall in for this notch to fit and sandwich in this siding here. So that's it. That's all it does. It sits down just like that for right now anyways. And then we'll go ahead and start screwing it together. Alright, once you got your wall hanging, go ahead and come on the inside of the hen house. Take your 2.5-inch screws, and you got several lateral screws. And in this case, what I like to do is start at the bottom. There's going to be one hole underneath here, underneath the cleat. And kind of just a little reference point, so go ahead and get that screw started. And then I just push this cleat against this, and that'll actually stop and true it up. It'll flush it up on the outside. Let that wall draw in tight. And then it does help to have a person on the outside as you work your way up, making sure you're flush on the outside corner. So go ahead and put in the rest of the screws, flushing it up on the outside corner. And once that's done, go ahead and flip to this side. Start at the bottom, hold that all the way in tight against that cleat, work your way up. Again, having someone help you on the outside, flushing it up, and then screw it in. Alright, since we're inside your hen house, we're going to go ahead and show you how to put on your back gables. What I've done is labeled, you're going to have 4 of these. There's going to be 2 for the back, 2 for the front. The only difference is this big overhang for the siding. So just in case, I labeled this one E, the other one F, and just match up the letters. But either way, all you're going to do, take your gables, and you're going to drop them down on top of here. There's a little trim piece right here. Make sure you slide down behind that. And pretty much all you're going to do is just make sure everything lines up. And then once everything lines up, like I'm just putting this corner into here, flushing it up right there. Let the screws do the rest of the work. And then just continue to screw all the way down, okay? And then make sure you flush it up as you go down. Right here, flush all that up. Then once this is screwed in, we're going to do the same thing for the other one labeled F.